Hey there, everyone. Cassie Soto here with you today. Well, the news has come out that the NFL is officially expanding to a 17-game regular season after the owners voted unanimously on this change. Here with me now is Raiders beat writer for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Vinny Bonsignore. Vinny, this is the first time in over 40 years that the league has made a change to its schedule. So sort of just take us through what went into this decision.
Yeah, it's something that the league has been talking about and thinking about for quite some time. But they wanted to get the CBA, collective bargaining agreement, taken care of first. They added it to it. This was last summer, basically, when they got it all put together. And in the new CBA, it gave a provision for the addition of a 17th game as early as this year, which is exactly what happened, or as late as maybe next year. But they went ahead and did it. They've got TV rights deals that they just announced that start in 2023. So this gives them schedule certainty now for a little while to present obviously their media rights partners. So we're going to a seventh game. As a result, the Raiders will host the Chicago Bears at some point next year at Allegiant Stadium. The way it works is 1 year the AFC hosts the games, the extra games. With the NFC against the NFC, it's always going to be a interconference type schedule, and then next year the NFC will host the extra game with the AFC visiting NFC teams.
I also saw that there won't be an extra bye week added. So now we've got 17 games in 18 weeks. How do you think that this will affect players? Obviously, it's hard enough to stay healthy during a regular season, so now adding this extra game has to probably play a toll on them.
It does. There's no question about that. Football is a battle of attrition. It's a battle of always dealing with nagging injuries and playing through injuries and trying to get on the field as healthy as possible every single Sunday. And this compromises that a little bit, which is why some players have had some aversion to adding a 17th game. But they're moving ahead anyway. And I think eventually, I can't guarantee this, but I would think anyway that the NFL will start looking at maybe expanding rosters, easing some of the restrictions on the injured reserve list so that you could put more players on the injured reserve list for shorter periods of time and be able to bring back more of those injured reserve in a normal season. You're allowed to, you could put as many guys on the injured reserve as you want, but you can only bring back 2 during the course of the season. And every time, based on the old rules prior to COVID-19, every time you put somebody on, it was a minimum of 8 games or 8 weeks that they would be out. And I would think with an added game, they're probably going to look at that and look at roster sizes and maybe see ways that they can help the players out a little bit in terms of that health issue.
You mentioned, Vinny, that the Raiders will now officially be hosting the Chicago Bears. Still no date on that yet, no dates and times out yet. But there will be that 9th home game at Allegiant Stadium, and I know fans are still dying to get inside of that stadium. We heard from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell saying that he is optimistic that fans will be at full capacity in stadiums this upcoming season. I believe you spoke to Raiders owner Mark Davis. What did he have to say about finally getting fans into Allegiant Stadium?
Well, he's extremely hopeful and optimistic and shares the excitement of that possibility, but we don't know yet. And neither he doesn't know, the state of Nevada doesn't know, because keep in mind, and this is something that I think, is a good reminder for fans, regardless of what the commissioner said, and he could be as hopeful and optimistic as he wants to be and chooses to be. I'm with him. I'm optimistic that it's all going to work too, but we don't know. And what it will ultimately come down to is science and each state's provisions and each state's mandates on how many fans are going to be allowed at certain events. As we know now, if the season were, put it this way, if the season were to start tomorrow, then it would be limited capacity for Raider games at Allegiant Stadium, just as it is at T-Mobile for the Golden Knights. And so that supersedes each state's jurisdictions governor and mayors and all that supersedes, of course, what the commissioner would love to do. So we still have a little bit of time, about 5 more months until the season kicks off. So we're all keeping our fingers crossed across all of life, not just the NFL, obviously, that things are going to get back to normal. But it certainly sounds like the commissioner is super optimistic that that is going to be the case.
And it's definitely a positive here, too, for the NFL to sort of look at here locally, the Golden Knights now at 20% capacity at T-Mobile Arena. I also think I saw an article that said NBA teams are going to have sections for vaccinated participants, vaccinated fans to be there. So that could be an option down the road for Raiders fans, but we don't know yet. So, of course, we will keep Raiders fans up to date with everything they need to know, including when they will be allowed inside of Allegiant Stadium, because I'm sure they really want to know that, don't they, Vinny?
Absolutely, as does everybody, and it seems like everything's moving in the right direction. Let's just remain hopeful that it stays that course.
All right. Well, he is Vinny Bonsignore. Go ahead and check out some of his great articles over at vegasnation.com. I'm your host, Cassie Soto. We will see you next time.